Daniel David, Daniel David, Daniel David. I've been thinking about you a lot, and I put together this little sketch. One of the things that you were talking about is very, very important. Okay, now, the reality of early disciple life full of the Holy Spirit. This is a thing that needs to be revived. The reality of early disciple life full of the Holy Spirit that was alive for about 300 years. Okay, the things that you were speaking were really important. You're talking about denominations and all of the things that we're sort of filtering our awareness through, that we've actually been stuck in denominations and movements and following elders and revivals and teachers and peer groups. We tend towards peer group insanity. We tend to collect together in groups of people. And since you are a motivator, since you're clearly a person who is an entrepreneur and a motivator and a gatherer of peoples, just as I am, I feel very inspired to help you hang on to a big picture and run with it. Okay, so this is us now. This is us, the scrambled up us right now. And you were talking about the problems of denominations and stuff like that. We are sitting here in the future looking back through the elders and the movements and denominations and the peer groups and the teachers and the revivals. We're looking back here toward the reality of early disciple life full of the Holy Spirit, because we're looking into the scriptures, but we're looking into the scriptures through a filter of our elders and movements and denominations and et cetera, our peer group and things like that. And I want you to alert you of the wall, the freaking wall right here. Constantine and the kings of Europe killed the reality of early disciple life, pulled the meetings out of the homes and put them in fancy Greek lecture halls and nice amphitheaters and temples. And the reality of early disciple life was taken over by power peoples. And these power peoples have influenced the revivals and the movements and the elders and the denominations and the peer groups. This mess has been influencing the ones that have influenced us for ages and ages and ages. So I want to take you on a different tour. I want to take you on a trip that goes this way. I want to take you through Jesus' boyhood and the forms of synagogue, which is the meeting house, and Havurah, the friend group. I want you to take you through the forms that Jesus had around him when he was a kid. I want to go back to Jesus as a boy in Roman Empire, Jewish lifestyle, and what they were doing as a meeting house and as a home friend group. I want to look at these things first, because these people, Constantine and the kings, don't want you to look at the roots of Jesus and understand what this was. They want you to just keep looking at their influence on your movements and elders and denominations. And even, Daniel David, even your current peer group is being affected by the Constantine and Kings of the Europe stuff, and in some ways you're overreacting to that junk, and we need to go back and look at the sweet origins of Jesus as a real boy in the Roman Empire and what they were doing. Jewish working men and families, and the beginning of the reality of early disciple life after Jesus left. See, here's Jesus's life right here. And for 300 years, there was this amazing reality, and then it was basically wrecked or polluted by Constantine and the kings of Europe. It didn't totally disappear, but it got smashed up so much that it went underground, and the teaching of this kind of mentality has deeply affected us as a peer group. So as we go back and check out Jesus' boyhood synagogue form, which had a lot of problems to it. Remember, synagogue had problems to it, but the primary thing is the friend group. That is where your atonement for sin happened. And I'm going to cover these details, not right now, but I'm just giving you an overview. Go back to Jesus as a boy, look at the beginnings and how Jesus and ordinary working men were meeting and sheltering their children and women and dealing with their families in a lovely way, shifting into the actual Jesus life and then the beginning of the amazing anointed disciples. So I just made this sketch for you, and it's a clarity for myself as well. So peace be with you. Let's focus on this reality. When we begin to get this in place, then you can start your businesses and your movements and et cetera, et cetera. We need to get this down in a simple, powerful way. And the best way to start is to look at Jesus as a boy, his life in the Roman Empire Jewish lifestyle, and the meeting house and the friend group. The friend group is where your atonement for sin is. This is the Passover Seder atmosphere. The synagogue is just the information and teaching place where all different types of people come together. Even this is where the Gentiles end up learning and becoming converts. But as soon as they learn, they have to be connected to a friend group, because that is where the atonement for sin is. That's where the confessions of sin is. That's where your consciences are cleansing together. That's where you're caring for each other and literally judging what is wise and foolish. If a friend is caught in foolish behavior, you need to restore him gently and really help a full understanding come to our close, precious brother and his family and help them be their best. We're trying to help one another be our best. And Constantine and the kings don't want that intimate gathering where we are being the best, the most wonderful family in the neighborhood. So this is the picture. The Jesus life and the Constantine and kings shut down. Jesus life started the reality of early disciple life full of the Holy Spirit. Constantine and the kings distorted it, messed around with it, and we have to restore this atmosphere so we can do the best business, raise the children, and run a great life, even in this time of increasing world evils.